and somehow it never feels finished. The counters are wiped, the cushions are straightened, the floor is clear. And yet a few hours later, something feels slightly undone again. It's not chaos, it's not even clutter in the obvious sense. It's the quiet cycle of resetting the same spaces over and over, touching the same objects, adjusting the same corners, maintaining things that don't actually make your life easier. After a while, it's not the mess that exhausts you. It's the maintenance. In this video, I'm sharing 10 intentional steps that helped me reset my home in a way that reduced the need to constantly reset it again. If you're tired of maintaining instead of living, this might help you start differently. First, begin with the space that must change. Not the messiest area, but the one that no longer serves its current purpose. A common issue is keeping a room the same simply because it used to matter. The home office was once carefully set up. The arrangement felt essential. But it has been a year since you regularly sat there. The items remain in their old positions as if you might return at any moment. In doing so, you continue maintaining a previous version of yourself. A different approach is to pause and ask a clear question. What purpose will this space serve in the next 6 to 12 months? If the office now needs to become a reading room, a resting corner, or a nursery, the criteria for what stays must change accordingly. Anything that does not support the new function should be reconsidered. You do not need to decide immediately whether to discard or keep it long-term. Simply remove it from the space for now. For example, a large desk takes up significant space, yet you only use your laptop at the dining table. A filing cabinet holds old documents that have not been opened for months. When the purpose changes, the size and quantity of furniture should change as well. This is not just cleaning a room. It is closing a chapter and allowing the space to reflect your present reality. When you begin with the area that must change, the reset process becomes logical. You are no longer tidying because it feels messy, but because you have a clear direction. Once the function is redefined, what comes next? Start with the large items that shape the room's structure. Next, look at the pieces of furniture that occupy the most space. Stand in the center of the room and observe which items define the entire layout. This shifts your focus from small details to overall structure, because what determines whether a room feels spacious or cramped is rarely the small objects. In reality, difficulty in transforming a space rarely comes from minor items. Usually, a single large piece that no longer serves a clear purpose creates stagnation. When a major item no longer aligns with the room's function, it becomes a suspended decision, and the entire room revolves around that hesitation. This hesitation is often reinforced by familiar reasons. Money was spent on it, you might need it someday, or dealing with it feels inconvenient. Yet while you deliberate, the space remains occupied every day. You are not only keeping the item, you are keeping the inconvenience it creates. Once you are certain it no longer serves a purpose, move to action. The clearer the decision, the more decisive the next step should be to avoid restarting the internal debate. A practical approach is to photograph and list it for sale the same day instead of waiting for the right time. If there is no interest after a short period, adjust the price. If it still does not move, consider giving it away. The goal is to free space for restructuring the room, not to maximize the financial return of every item. When a large piece leaves the room, change is almost immediate. Walkways open up. Light spreads more freely. Only then can you clearly see the smaller cluttered areas that need attention next. After removing large furniture, the room may already feel noticeably lighter. Pathways widen, light moves more freely, the structure feels less heavy, yet one hesitation often remains: the everything closet. This is the space where items without a defined home are temporarily placed. They are not broken or clearly useless, but their purpose is vague. Because nothing demands an immediate decision, they stay. Over time, this ambiguity turns the closet into a container for postponed choices. If you simply reorganize each shelf or buy new organizers, you create short-term neatness. The surface looks better, but the underlying issue remains unresolved. The volume has not changed, only the arrangement. Instead of adjusting small sections, empty the closet completely. Take everything out and place it on a wide-open surface. Seeing all items at once shifts your perception. What once felt like not that much often reveals itself as a significant accumulation. Visibility removes illusions. It becomes easier to evaluate realistically rather than emotionally. From here, sorting becomes more intentional. Group similar items together. Notice duplicates. Identify objects you forgot you owned. For sentimental belongings, set a strict boundary, one fixed size box only. Anything you decide to keep must fit inside that container. If it does not, you must choose what carries deeper meaning. Do not add a second box. This physical constraint forces prioritization instead of automatic keeping. When memories are consolidated into one defined space, they no longer spill into unrelated areas of the home. You become aware of how much you are preserving and for what reason. At this stage, the closet transforms from a holding area for indecision into a curated storage space that reflects deliberate choices. Now turn to the unused cables in your home. When you gather them into one place, the quantity is often greater than expected. They hide in drawers, boxes, old packaging, and the back corners of shelves. Because they are small and easy to tuck away, they rarely demand attention. Over time, they accumulate quietly, becoming a category that feels too minor to review. Yet collectively, they take up space and mental energy. Instead of keeping everything just in case, begin by matching each cable to a device that currently exists in your home. Lay them out and ask a simple question. What does this connect to? If the device is no longer there or you cannot clearly identify its purpose, there is little reason to keep the cable. Holding on to it usually reflects a vague future possibility rather than an actual plan. Even though each cable is small, storing based on uncertainty creates subtle overload. For cables still in use, set a defined limit. 1 to 2 per type is generally enough for daily needs and reasonable backup. More than that often sits untouched. After selecting what remains, place them in a dedicated box or small container. Label it clearly, for example, HDMI laptop charger or Ethernet. Clear labeling reduces friction. You will know exactly what you have and where it is. This simple system prevents duplicate purchases and saves time when something needs replacing. More importantly, reducing cables does more than clear a drawer. It breaks the habit of keeping undefined possibilities. You shift from storing maybe someday items to supporting your present reality. With technical clutter under control, the next category that often benefits from clear boundaries is children's belongings. Now move to the fastest growing area in the home: children's belongings. Clothes are quickly outgrown. Toys arrive during special occasions. Books and school supplies increase each year. Items enter naturally, but rarely is there a clear decision about how much is enough. Without criteria, quantity expands without real oversight. Most retained items are kept for emotional reasons. Clothes are still new, but too small. Toys carry memories. Off-season items remain within easy reach even when unnecessary. When everything coexists within limited space, actual play area shrinks. The result: more objects, less room to move, and adults constantly tidying to maintain order. To recalibrate, shift the focus to present needs rather than nostalgia. Clothes that no longer fit should leave the active closet. Off-season items should be stored separately. Items untouched for 6 months deserve reconsideration. After reviewing, limit belongings to an amount children can independently access and put away. This builds autonomy and reduces pressure on adults. Fewer items create more open space for movement and creativity. Children do not need excessive choices. They need a simple enough environment to focus. When quantity becomes reasonable, the room feels lighter and maintaining order requires less energy. After this area, another space that quietly reflects accumulation habits is the bathroom. This tip focuses on reviewing what was purchased with the expectation of self-improvement. Bathrooms often contain more products than are realistically used. The current cleanser backup bottles, experimental cosmetics items bought because of a trend. To assess accurately, remove everything from drawers and shelves. When all products are placed in one area, the quantity becomes visible and easier to evaluate. The first step is to check expiration dates. Expired items should leave immediately. Next, consider removing products that have not been used in the past 6 months. Many items are kept because they represent an aspirational version of yourself. Someone who maintains a more elaborate skincare routine wears makeup more often or follows a specific aesthetic. However, products do not create habits on their own. Keeping them only crowds the space and complicates daily choices. After selecting what remains, wipe down surfaces before returning only what is truly necessary. Arrange items according to frequency of use so that morning and evening routines flow more smoothly. Removing unused products is not giving up on yourself. It is acknowledging how you actually live. When the bathroom is simplified, personal care becomes clearer and less scattered. This area clearly reflects your current rhythm of life. By looking at your shoe cabinet, you can understand what a typical week looks like commuting to work, short trips exercising, or attending occasional events. If most of your time revolves around repeated activities, the number of shoes should align with that rhythm. Clutter usually comes from keeping pairs intended for a lifestyle that no longer occurs frequently. Party shoes outnumber actual events. Office shoes from a previous phase still take up space even though your work environment has changed. Some pairs were bought because they looked good but are not truly comfortable. Individually, they seem harmless. Collectively, they overcrowd the shelf and make selection consuming. A practical approach is to base decisions on a realistic 7-day cycle. Identify recurring activities and keep enough pairs to rotate through those situations. If 2 pairs serve the same function, keep the one you choose more often. Shoes that cause discomfort or require effort to wear should not remain in primary space. Reorganize according to frequency of use, placing the most used pairs in the easiest to reach positions. A clear entryway makes leaving the house quicker and reduces the buildup of external clutter. The shoe cabinet should serve your current life, not an idealized plan. From here, the next category is often more emotionally and quantitatively challenging toys. This is an area that easily creates a sense of abundance but quietly reduces focus. Many households store all toys in one large bin, assuming it keeps things simple. Over time, that bin becomes a mix of everything. Cars, stuffed animals, building blocks, play kitchen sets, and loose pieces from different games. The quantity feels generous, yet playtime often becomes short and scattered. When too many options are available at once, children tend to switch quickly from one toy to another. This is not necessarily boredom. More often, it reflects a lack of structure. With everything mixed together, it is harder to concentrate on one activity. Searching for a specific piece usually means emptying the entire bin, leaving the floor covered and attention divided. A clearer approach is to reduce duplication and create defined limits. Keep 1 or 2 sets of each type that are genuinely used. For example, choose 2 building sets with different levels of difficulty instead of keeping 5 similar ones. Select a reasonable number of toy cars that fit neatly into a small tray. Sort toys by category and store them in separate containers rather than one large box. The container size becomes a natural boundary. If items do not fit, choose again instead of expanding storage. Fewer toys do not reduce joy. Children often engage longer and more creatively when their environment feels calm and intentional. Bookshelves often reflect more than actual reading needs. They hold former favorites books purchased to explore new topics and titles connected to past phases of life. Over time, the number grows, but the frequency of revisiting them does not increase proportionally. Keeping books you once loved is understandable. However, past appreciation does not automatically create present value. A bookshelf does not need to function as a scoreboard proving how much you have read or what once interested you. If a book has not been touched in years, its role deserves realistic reassessment. A clear approach is to evaluate based on the likelihood of rereading or referencing it in the near future. Books aligned with your current work interests or direction can remain. Those representing a former identity but no longer relevant can be donated or passed on. This allows them to continue their life cycle elsewhere instead of remaining static on a shelf. Your living space should reflect who you are now, not who you were several years ago. Keeping only what holds current meaning makes the bookshelf more focused and intentional. After reviewing books with such clarity, the final step is applying a general principle to reassess the entire process accurately. This step helps you evaluate the entire process more honestly. During decluttering, many items leave simply because they are broken, cracked, expired, or unusable. These are easy to remove, but discarding trash does not reflect decision-making ability because those items no longer had functional value. At this stage, completely separate trash-broken items and expired products into a different category. Do not include them in your decluttered results. This separation prevents the illusion of major progress when most removals were items that could not realistically be kept. The meaningful decisions lie within items that are still usable clothes that can still be worn, appliances that function intact, books, undamaged toys. These require choice. Keeping them means allocating space. Letting them go means making room for something else. When focusing only on usable items, you must define clear criteria. Does this serve my current life? Is it used regularly? Does it deserve space in my home? This process clarifies how intentional you are in designing your living environment. A reset is not simply making the house look tidier. A reset is deciding what is allowed to remain. Completing this step means your home has been reviewed based on real needs, not on the surface feeling that a lot has been cleaned. In summary, not every action that looks tidy actually helps you live in a tidy way. A large toy bin, an everything closet, or a neatly bundled cable drawer may create the appearance of order, but they don't address excess or ambiguity. When you only organize, you adjust the surface. When you set limits and choose deliberately, you change the structure. Try reversing one familiar habit instead of adding more boxes or storage. Take everything out and set a clear boundary. If it doesn't fit, don't expand the space. Choose again. If you enjoy content that feels unconventional yet effective, the next video might surprise you even more.